Here we go with the lead screw. I'm shooting this in the afternoon. There's been a lot of interruptions with the intercom, so if you hear that come on, pay no attention to it. We'll try and carry on with this project. I have it partially assembled. It's going to take a long drive shaft, and the base for this is set up. It does have this channel right here. It's not necessarily U-shaped. It tapers in so that a carriage can ride on it. So let me get the sheet here so we can look at the picture real quickly. So there's the picture of the lead screw. This carriage is going to travel back and forth as you turn this long worm type gear. So one thing you're going to need is a really long drive shaft, and we'll start placing these worm gears on it if I could quit dropping them everywhere. They do have some tabs, and those tabs fit in a special way with the preceding gears so that it looks like one seamless long gear. The carriage that rides along it uses these two plastic pieces. This is a special shape to ride along that channel that's fixed on the base. And then this also, it's threaded in a manner that will ride along as the worm gear turns. It will draw this carriage back and forth. Now these are assembled with just simple machine screws. They're going to be the shortest machine screw, actually threads right into the plastic. When I started using these, I would put these together with the plastic rivets, which ended up not going together very tight. It would actually be pretty loose, and then you didn't have a real solid fitting. I've learned over time that these machine screws will actually thread into these plastic pieces, so it works out really nice. And then this piece, it actually can snap on and slide along, so you don't have to feed it on. You can snap it right on when you're ready to put it in place. I think what I'll do is I'll set it down here, and we'll start getting this set up. So I'm going to start feeding this rod through. Now, I got to be mindful. I probably need to put on at least one collar, because I'm going to guess that I need a collar on each end. And then I'll start feeding these gears on. And I have to watch for where those tabs line up so it ends up being one seamless fitting. And I've had a couple groups already finish this project, so it looks like there's a lot to it, but really it's not too bad. It's just a matter of getting all those tabs lined up so it looks like one continuous threaded worm gear. I did notice in some of the groups they didn't get the tab lined up, and then once we start getting that in there, it'll thread through there. Push that in there a little bit more, and we'll probably need a collar on the other end. We're going to have to kind of figure out where these collars are going to fit. And as you start getting more pieces on there, it gets harder to push through to the other end. But we need to have a little bit sticking out there. I'm going to try putting a collar on the outside here. Now remember, on these collars, you just snug them up. Do not over tighten them. They strip out way too easy. I'm going to put another one down here, and let's see if this is going to stay in place with these two, because you don't want the worm gear to slide back and forth. You want the chassis to slide back and forth. Now let me grab my handle, and let's see how this functions. So far, so good. Now what you'll notice is that I have to turn my input shaft rather quickly to get it to travel any amount of distance. It looks like it's slipping there. Let's see what's going on here. I did not have that collar tightened down. That's my problem. So it's important to kind of check these, make sure they function properly. So these collars on the inside, I forgot those. Let's try this again. Okay. Now as I was saying, I have to turn the drive shaft rather quickly to get the lead screw to move any sort of distance. Now what happens in here is speed is decreased. So this ends up being a rather powerful mechanism that doesn't necessarily move anything at a fast rate of speed. Now the flow of power is reversible. So I can take my input shaft and I can move it into either direction. But I cannot grab this chassis and get the lead screw to move. So that part is not reversible. So this is the lead screw. Now one thing I do want to point out is in your tray, before you take anything apart, if you have any extra parts, let's get those back into inventory before you start disassembling anything. And then remember, as you complete these mechanisms, for example the lead screw, make sure that I initial off on the lead screw and don't lose this paper. So what you should have before you start disassembling this is an empty tray. Make sure the tray is empty. Start taking the pieces off. Remember, you're going to keep your base plate and you're going to keep your girder. So until next time, good luck.